The Shroud of Turin has fascinated people for centuries, inspiring awe, curiosity, and skepticism. This ancient cloth, approximately 14 feet long and 3.5 feet wide, bears the faint, enigmatic image of a man who appears to have suffered crucifixion. For some, it is a sacred relic, the burial shroud of Jesus Christ himself. For others, it is an impressive medieval forgery. The ongoing debate about its authenticity involves science, history, theology, and art, making it one of the most studied artifacts in the world. The discovery of the shroud's image as a photographic negative in 1898 added to its mystery. When Secondo Pia, an amateur Italian photographer, took the first official photographs of the shroud, he was astonished to see that the negative revealed a detailed and striking image of a man. Unlike paint or dye, the markings on the shroud are not made of pigments. Instead, they seem to result from a subtle discoloration of the fibers on the cloth's surface. Scientists and researchers have spent decades trying to understand how such an image could have been created, proposing theories ranging from natural processes to artistic techniques and even supernatural radiation. The anatomical accuracy of the image is one of the key points of intrigue. The man on the shroud appears to have suffered severe injuries consistent with Roman crucifixion practices. Blood stains align with wounds on the wrists, feet, and side, matching descriptions found in the Gospels. The flow patterns of the blood suggest the body was placed in the cloth shortly after death. Forensic experts have studied these details extensively, debating whether they could occur naturally or if they were skillfully crafted by a forger. The level of detail, down to the positioning of the wounds and the apparent swelling from beatings, continues to captivate those who examine it. Beyond the visible image, microscopic studies have revealed intriguing evidence. Pollen grains embedded in the fibers of the shroud have been identified as originating from plants native to the Middle East, including some found in the area around Jerusalem. This discovery suggests that the shroud may have spent time in that region. Additionally, traces of limestone on the cloth have been found to match the geological composition of limestone from Jerusalem, further supporting the idea that the shroud could have originated there. These findings have bolstered the arguments of those who believe in its authenticity. Carbon dating, one of the most well-known scientific tests conducted on the shroud, has added to the controversy. In 1988, radiocarbon dating tests on small samples of the cloth indicated that it dated to the medieval period, specifically between 1260 and 1390. This finding led many to conclude that the shroud was a forgery created during the Middle Ages. However, critics of the test have pointed out potential flaws. Some argue that the sample tested may have been contaminated by centuries of handling, repairs, or exposure to fire. Others suggest that the tested fibers were from a medieval patch rather than the original cloth. These objections have left room for continued debate. Another layer of mystery comes from the shroud's history. The first documented appearance of the shroud dates back to the 14th century in Lirey, France, where it was displayed by a knight named Geoffrey de Charny. Critics argue that this late appearance supports the idea of a medieval origin. However, proponents of the shroud's authenticity point to earlier references that may describe the same cloth, such as the Mandy-lion, a relic believed to bear the miraculous image of Christ. They suggest that the shroud and the Mandy-lion could be one and the same, hidden and rediscovered over the centuries. Theories about how the image was formed are as varied as the experts who study it. Some researchers propose naturalistic explanations, such as a chemical reaction between body fluids and the linen fibers. Others suggest that the image could have been created by a medieval artist using innovative techniques. In recent years, some have put forward the idea that the image might be the result of a burst of radiation, possibly linked to a supernatural event like the resurrection. While no single theory has been universally accepted, each adds to the complexity of the shroud's story. One of the most fascinating aspects of the shroud is the ongoing interdisciplinary research it inspires. Chemists, physicists, historians, and theologians have all contributed to the study of this artifact. Advanced imaging techniques have allowed scientists to create three-dimensional models based on the image, revealing details about the man depicted, such as his height and build. These studies suggest that the man was approximately 5 feet 11 inches tall and well-built, consistent with descriptions of Jesus from historical texts and artistic representations. The shroud's significance extends beyond the scientific and historical realms. For many believers, it is a tangible connection to the life and suffering of Jesus Christ. Pilgrims travel from around the world to see the shroud, which is housed in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. Its impact on faith and devotion cannot be understated. Even for skeptics, the shroud represents an incredible achievement, whether as a religious relic or as a piece of art and history. Despite extensive research, the Shroud of Turin remains an enigma. Every new discovery seems to raise more questions than it answers. How was the image created? Where did the shroud originate? Can it ever be conclusively proven to be authentic or a forgery? These questions continue to fuel curiosity and debate, ensuring that the shroud remains a subject of fascination for generations to come. The shroud challenges us to explore the intersections of science, history, and faith. Whether it is a miraculous relic or an extraordinary creation of human ingenuity, it stands as a testament to the enduring mystery of the divine and the limits of our understanding. As researchers continue to study it, the Shroud of Turin invites us all to ponder the power of belief and the quest for truth in the face of uncertainty. Expanding the discussion, the cultural and religious significance of the shroud cannot be ignored. For millions of Christians, the shroud offers a profound physical connection to the life and death of Jesus. The emotional response it evokes in viewers transcends scientific debates. Seeing the shroud often leads to moments of reflection, prayer, and a deepened sense of faith. Many believers view it as a testament to Christ's sacrifice, representing not only his suffering but also his triumph over death. This perspective ensures that the shroud remains a spiritual symbol, regardless of its scientific origins. On the scientific front, the debate has driven advancements in technology and methodology. Techniques like spectral imaging, infrared analysis, and X-ray fluorescence have been employed to study the shroud in unprecedented detail. These methods have revealed insights into the chemical composition of the fibers and the nature of the image. For example, researchers have noted that the image appears to be confined to the outermost fibers of the cloth, suggesting an incredibly precise process of formation. This level of detail has yet to be replicated by modern attempts to recreate the image, lending weight to the argument that it remains an unsolved mystery. The question of authenticity also touches on broader themes of human curiosity and the search for meaning. The shroud's mystery has inspired countless books, documentaries, and discussions, each exploring its implications for our understanding of history, religion, and art. Whether viewed as a miraculous artifact or an ingenious creation, the shroud challenges our assumptions about what is possible and invites us to confront the limits of our knowledge. Historical context adds another dimension to the shroud's story. The period of its first documented appearance, the 14th century, was a time of significant religious fervor and relic veneration in Europe. Pilgrimages to see holy artifacts were common, and the shroud quickly became a centerpiece for devotion. This historical backdrop raises questions about how the shroud was perceived in its early years and what role it played in shaping religious practices of the time. Exploring these aspects provides a richer understanding of the artifact's impact on both individual believers and the broader Christian community. Critics of the shroud's authenticity often point to the lack of direct evidence linking it to the time of Jesus. While the pollen and limestone findings suggest a connection to the Middle East, they do not definitively prove the shroud's origins. Additionally, the absence of documented references to the shroud before the 14th century leaves a gap in its history that skeptics find difficult to ignore. This absence fuels speculation about whether the shroud could have been a deliberate creation designed to inspire faith or attract pilgrims. The shroud's influence extends into contemporary culture as well. It continues to be a subject of fascination in media and academia, often serving as a focal point for discussions about the intersection of science and religion. Documentaries, exhibitions, and public displays of the shroud draw large audiences, demonstrating its enduring appeal. The Vatican's role in preserving and presenting the shroud also highlights its importance as a religious artifact, with periodic exhibitions attracting millions of visitors. In exploring the Shroud story, one must also consider the perspectives of those who challenge its authenticity. Their work reminds us of the importance of skepticism and critical inquiry. The rigorous examination of the Shroud's fibers, image characteristics, and historical context ensures that the search for truth remains balanced. While the debate may never reach a definitive conclusion, it serves as a valuable example of how science and faith can coexist in the pursuit of understanding. Ultimately, the Shroud of Turin represents more than just an artifact. It is a symbol of the human desire to connect with the past, to find meaning in the mysteries of existence, and to seek answers to questions that transcend time. Whether viewed through the lens of faith, science, or history, the Shroud continues to inspire and challenge us, inviting reflection on the profound and the unknown.